I used to think Ethan's arms were the safest place in the world. Now, they feel like walls mourning. Love, he said, brushing my hair back as I walked into the kitchen. His lips grazed my temple. I made your favorite egg white omelet, I muttered, glancing at the plate. Thanks. He leaned against the counter, shirtless. Toned chest on display like always. Added spinach. You've been skipping your greens. I forced a smile. Right? Can't have that. He handed me my phone. Battery was low. I charged it for you. I took it. The screen blinked open. I swiped quickly. No new messages. Not from Leela. Not from anyone. Strange. You didn't see anything from Leela, did you? I asked casually. He took a sip from his coffee mug. Oh, she sent something about brunch. But I figured you'd be too tired, so I deleted it. You what? I mean, come on, Mira. His voice stayed light. But his eyes, they didn't blink. You work late. You need rest, I thought. I was helping. I stared at him. Next time, ask. He chuckled. Of course, you're right, my bad. But he didn't look sorry. Later in the kitchen, I was chopping vegetables when he slid behind me. His chest pressed against my back, arms circling my waist. I froze. You smell like vanilla again. He murmured, his breath warm on my neck. You know I love that. I tried to focus on the knife. Ethan, I'm trying to cook. His hands traveled lower. I'm trying to love my woman. His voice was deep, teasing. But there was something tight about the way he held me. I set the knife down. I said, I'm trying to cook. There was a pause. Then he stepped back with a smirk. Feisty today. I didn't smile. At lunch, I reached for my phone again. Still checking? He said, biting into his sandwich. No one more important than me, babe. I laughed weakly. Just seeing if my mom texted. She hasn't, he said without looking up. I froze. How do you know? Because I mirrored your phone last month for emergencies. My stomach dropped. You what? Relax. He leaned closer, chewing slowly. It's not a big deal. I just like knowing you're safe. You mirrored my phone without asking me. He shrugged. It's not like I'm reading your diary. I stood up. That's exactly what it's like, Mira. His voice dropped. Sit down. I didn't move. I said sit. He repeated, softer now, but firmer. I sat. My hands were shaking. That night, he curled up behind me in bed, arms pulling me in like rope. I'm sorry. He whispered into my hair. I love you too much. You're everything to me. I stayed quiet. You make me crazy, he said, chuckling softly. But I'd rather be crazy with you than sane without you. I closed my eyes. He kissed the back of my neck. Please, don't be mad. I'm not mad, I lied. He sighed in relief and pulled me closer to close. The next morning, he made coffee and handed me my phone again. I swiped through it quickly. Nothing from Leela. But I knew she had messaged me last night. I opened the trash folder. There it was. Call me. Something feels off, please. I stared at it for a second too long. Then, from behind me, Ethan's hand reached around. He held the phone between his thumb and index finger, smiled and clicked delete. There? Gone. I turned slowly. Why did you do that? He tilted his head. You don't need noise. You need me. My throat tightened. That's not your decision. His smile didn't falter. Everything I do is for you, Mira. You just don't see it yet. I took a step back. You're scaring me. He sighed and moved closer. No. I'm protecting you. This world. It doesn't deserve you. But I do. His hand reached out again, gentle, like always. But this time, I didn't let him touch me. I looked at him. And I saw it. Not love. Control. I think you're overreacting, Ethan said, crossing his arms as I stood by the front door with my bag. It's just brunch with Leela, my best friend, who I haven't seen in 2 months. He leaned against the wall. Exactly. We've been doing great. Why ruin the energy? I'm not ruining anything. I'm just going out. His jaw flexed. You don't even like crowds. It's to people and waffles. I snapped. He didn't flinch. You've been acting off lately. I reached for the doorknob. Because I need space, Ethan. That's not a crime. He dropped to the floor. I blinked. What the hell are you? I can't breathe. He gasped, gripping his chest. Mira. Something's wrong, my heart. My bag hit the floor. Are you serious? He groaned, curling tighter. Help me. Panic fought exhaustion in my chest. I dropped beside him. Do I call someone? Should I? No. No, just stay. He whispered, stay with me. Please, don't leave. I held his hand. Heart racing. I waited. 5 minutes passed, his breathing calmed, no sweat, no shaking. Just peace. He looked up. Smiled. I feel better now. I pulled my hand away. What was that? He sat up slowly, maybe anxiety. You leaving made it worse, my voice cracked. You weren't sick. I was scared, I said. So you faked it. He didn't deny it that night. He was gentle, too gentle. He lit candles, played our song, held me like I was made of paper. You're everything to me. He whispered into my neck. I don't know who I am without you. I wanted to push him away. Instead, I kissed him back. His mouth moved like it needed me, like breathing I hated. How it made me feel wanted, weak, wanted again. When he pulled me onto his lap, his grip was tight. Too tight, his lips brushed my ear. No one knows you like I do. I'm not sure that's a good thing, I whispered. He paused. Then kissed me harder. I let him, and hated myself for it. Later, as I sat on the balcony wrapped in his robe, my phone buzzed. Leila, where were you today? I waited 45 minutes, I typed. He had a panic attack. The phone rang. Hello? I answered quietly. What the hell is going on? Leila's voice cracked through the speaker. Since when do you cancel plans without telling me? I didn't mean to. He wasn't okay, Mira. This isn't the first time. I know. You're disappearing. I'm not. You're not you. I swallowed. I'm tired, then leave. It's not that simple. She paused. Has he hurt you? No. He just loves me too much. That's not love. I have to go, Mira. I hung up. The next morning, I walked out to my car. The air felt heavy. Something under the bumper caught my eye. A small black box. I crouched. Heart THEDDING. It blinked. A GPS tracker. My stomach twisted. My phone buzzed. Ethan, drive safe. You're heading to the store, right? I stared at the message. I didn't tell him where I was going. I looked back at the tracker and suddenly, it all made sense. The cabin smelled like pine wood and fresh betrayal. Surprise, Ethan said, throwing his arms wide as I stepped inside. Just the two of us, no phones, no noise, just love. I forced a smile. Wow, it's beautiful. I packed everything. Even your favorite tea. You've been so stressed. You needed this. I looked around. Too perfect. Too quiet. How long are we staying? 3 days, just us, 3 days. Alone with him. He made tea while I unpacked. My hands froze when I opened my bag. There was an envelope, no label, just my name typed. I opened it. I read the first line twice before I understood it. Formal resignation letter, Mira Ellis, effective immediately. My throat closed. Ethan? I walked out, letter in hand. What is this? He looked up from the kettle. Tea, don't joke. What is this? I shoved the paper toward him. His face didn't even twitch. Oh. That. You sent this. You forged my name. I signed for you. Yeah. You quit my job without asking me. You hated that job, he said, setting the mug down. They overworked you, underpaid you. I did it for us. I laughed. But it sounded like choking. You did it for us. You committed fraud for us? Don't be dramatic. I stepped back. How long have you been planning this? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You were burning out, Mira. I saved you from yourself. No. You stole from me. You stole my choice. He stepped closer. I gave you freedom. You gave me a prison. He flinched. You really think that? I stared at him. I know that. His jaw clenched. I'm trying, Mira. I do everything for you. I didn't ask you to. I watch over you. I protect you. You track me. I love you. Love doesn't look like this. We stood there, breathing hard. Then, softly, he reached out and held my face in his hands. I know you're scared, he whispered. But everything I do is because I love you. His touch was soft, but all I felt was trapped. That night, I slept in the guest room. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, then at the moon pouring in through the window. I remembered the day I got that job. How proud I'd been, the new dress I wore, the email I read 3 times. Smiling so hard my cheeks hurt. He erased that. Without blinking, I curled into myself. And for the first time, I let myself feel the fear, really feel it. This wasn't love, this was ownership. The next morning, I walked outside to clear my head. That's when I saw her, an older woman sitting on the porch of the cabin next door, mug in hand. Watching the trees. She smiled. Rough night, I nodded. Newlyweds, she asked. Not married. But something's wrong, she said. Like it wasn't even a question. I looked down. I thought it was love. Did it ever feel like flying? She asked. I didn't answer. Love doesn't make you small, she said softly. If it's real, it gives you wings, not chains. Her words hit something deep. I nodded once, then turned back inside. Ethan was cooking. He looked up, feeling better. I walked past him, picked up my phone from the table, and typed one word. Help. Sent to Leela. I deleted the thread right after. He smiled at me like nothing happened. And for the first time, I smiled back because something inside me had changed. Hey, babe, you're smiling again. Ethan kissed my cheek. I missed that. I laughed, soft. Practiced. Guess I just needed that cabin air. He handed me my coffee. See? Told you the trip would help. I sipped it, nodding. Yeah, you were right. I kissed him back when he leaned in. Let my lips press against his like nothing had changed. Like I hadn't texted help to my best friend 2 nights ago. Like I hadn't seen the truth in Sasha's eyes. Inside, I was screaming. Leela pulled up outside the bookstore 3 days later. I slipped into the passenger seat like I was escaping a crime scene. Burn her phone, she asked. I nodded, handing her my real one. Swap the SIM. Hide it, burn it. I don't care. Done? She glanced at me. You sure you're ready? No. I whispered. But I'm going anyway. We met with Sasha in a quiet coffee shop downtown. I brought this, Sasha said, sliding over a flash drive. Download the tracking app and the audio. He's still spying on you. I nodded, gripping it tight. Thank you. Leela leaned in. We're doing this carefully, quietly, no sudden moves, I know. I looked at them both. I have to play it like I'm still his. Sasha sipped her tea. Until you're not. Dr. Anya's office was small, warm, filled with muted colors and soft lamps. I sat on the couch like it might bite. You don't have to tell me everything at once, she said. I shook my head. I don't even know what to say. Start with how you feel. I feel stupid. Why? Because I stayed, because I let him. You survived. She cut in gently. That's not weakness, that's strength. I looked down. He tracked me, mirrored my phone, quit my job, and how did he justify it? He said it was love. Love doesn't erase your life. I swallowed hard. But sometimes, he was sweet. He made me feel like I mattered. That's trauma bonding. Mira? He breaks you, then comforts the wound he created. I don't even know who I am anymore. You're someone who's still here. That's who, back home. I sat beside Ethan on the couch while he scrolled through a movie menu, rom-com or thriller. He asked, whatever you want, I said. He smiled, rubbing my knee. I love how easy you are to please. I smiled back. You make it easy. My fingers were wrapped around the burner phone in my robe pocket. Later that night, I crept into the bedroom alone. Ethan was asleep on the couch, half snoring. I shut the door and turned on the lamp. My hands moved to the mirror above the dresser. Something buzzed behind it. My chest tightened. I slid it off the wall. A tiny black dot blinked behind it. I dropped the mirror. The glass cracked. I stood frozen. He'd been watching me. Here. In the bedroom. The place I cried alone. Changed clothes. Lay awake wondering if I was losing my mind. The camera blinked again. I stared at the tiny blinking dot behind the mirror. How long had it been there? Weeks, months. My reflection was cracked, fractured just like my trust. My voice shook as I whispered, you watched me. The next morning, I waited until he poured his second cup of coffee. Ethan, I said, my hand flat on the table. How long was the camera behind the mirror? He didn't even pause. 6 months, maybe 7. I blinked. You're not denying it. He raised an eyebrow. Why would I? You watched me sleep. I missed you when I wasn't home. You watched me undress. He shrugged. You're beautiful. I cried. I told myself I hated you. You saw all of that. I know. That's how I knew you were slipping. That's why I had to hold on tighter. I stood. You violated me. No. I protected you from what? From everyone else, from yourself. You don't always make good choices, Mira. My hands curled into fists. You are sick. He stepped forward. I'm in love. You're in control. He reached for my face. Don't do this. I slapped his hand away. You crossed every line. I know what you need before you do. You don't get to decide who I am. He gritted his teeth. I gave up everything for you. I never asked you to. You were nothing when I met you. I was me, and that was enough. Silence. Then his tone dropped. I can fix this. We can fix this. He touched my cheek again. I didn't move. He leaned in. His lips brushed mine, soft, coaxing, calculated. But this time I didn't melt. I pulled away first. He blinked. What are you doing? Leaving? He laughed. Where would you even go? Somewhere you can't find me. You don't mean that. I do. You'll be back. I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my bag, stuffed the burner phone in my coat. He was already back on the couch, pretending nothing had happened. I opened the front door. Cold air hit my face. I didn't look back. I left it wide open behind me. Do you want to file anonymously? The officer asked. I kept my voice steady. No. My name is Mira Thorne. He needs to be held accountable. You sure about this? Leela passed me the USB drive across the table. Everything's on there. The emails he faked, the footage, even the voice recordings. She frowned. HR is going to lose it. That's the point. Nico leaned forward. You want me to hand it in for you? No. It has to come from me. The HR rep didn't blink when I slid the envelope across her desk. And your relation to Mr. Wells? I was his partner. For 4 years. Her eyes skimmed the documents, then widened. These are serious allegations. They're facts. I'll escalate this to legal immediately. A week later, I watched it happen from the safety of my burner account. Breaking: Ethan Wells placed on administrative leave pending investigation into surveillance and misconduct. Leela texted. He's spiraling. He's calling everyone he knows. It came from you. I didn't respond. I lit a candle. Then I opened my journal and wrote, I'm not afraid of you anymore. Dr. Anya glanced up from her notes. How are you sleeping? Better. I still check the doors 3 times. That's okay. I keep thinking he'll show up. Fear doesn't mean you're not healing. I paused. Sometimes I still miss him, and I hate that. She nodded gently. That's the trauma bond talking, not love. Later that night, I pulled the faded hoodie from the back of my closet. Gray, soft. It used to feel like safety. He always said, wear it for me. It smells like us. It didn't smell like us anymore. It smelled like control. I took it outside, lit a match, watched it curl and burn and disappear. The smoke stung my eyes, but I didn't cry. 3 days later, I danced for the first time in months. The studio was quiet. The floor was cold beneath my bare feet. The mirror didn't lie. It showed someone bruised, but standing. When the music played, I didn't move for anyone but me. Hey, Leela said, handing me a latte. I brought you something. I glanced in the bag. Paintbrushes, a fresh canvas. I thought maybe. She trailed off. I smiled. Yeah, maybe. That night, I was sketching when the buzzer rang. I froze. The screen showed his face. Ethan. Eyes red, hair disheveled. I answered without thinking. What do you want, Mira, please? I need to talk. You shouldn't be here. I don't have anyone else. I hesitated. He pressed his forehead to the glass. I messed up. I know that. I lost everything. Please. I opened the door. He stepped inside, dripping regret all over my clean floor. Tears filled his eyes. I'm sorry. I'm not ready to believe you. I don't blame you. But I had to see you to say it. He moved closer. I didn't flinch. I never meant to hurt you, he whispered. But you did. I'll never stop loving you. I reached behind him, clicked the lock on the door. He didn't notice. I still think about us, you know? He said, sitting on the couch like it was still his. I sat across from him, phone hidden between the cushions, already recording. Me too, you do? I wonder if we ever stood a chance. My voice Stayed soft, baiting him gently. I ruined it. He rubbed his hands together. I know that. Why? He looked up. You were slipping away. I wasn't a thing to hold on to, Ethan. I panicked. He exhaled sharply. The panic attacks, the ones you stayed up all night for. You faked them, he? Nodded slowly. I needed you close and it worked. My stomach turned, but I stayed still. What else? He paused. Leela. I told her you said things you didn't. That you called her a parasite. You broke us up on purpose. She was pulling you away from me. I clenched my jaw. And Sasha? I emailed her boss. Made it look like you were complaining about her work ethic. You tanked her promotion. She was a distraction. I thought if you were isolated, you'd need me more. You sabotaged every friend I had. You don't understand. Mira, I loved you too much. That's not love. He leaned forward, desperation on his face. I know. But back then, I didn't. I thought I was protecting us. There was no us, Ethan. There was you. Controlling everything. I've changed. No. You've lost. Silence filled the room. Then he whispered, you let me in. I needed to hear the truth. You forgive me. I stood up slowly. Walked to the table. Picked up the phone. Pressed pause on the recording. He frowned. What's that? I met his eyes. This isn't forgiveness. This is closure. What? Sirens echoed faintly outside. I walked to the door. Mira. Blue and red lights flashed through the window. Mira. Wait, what are you? I turned the phone volume to max. Press play. His voice boomed. I sabotaged everything. I faked the panic attacks. I ruined her friendships. Then came the knocked out 3 sharp bangs on the door. I didn't flinch. Mira? He shouted, panic rising. Mira. What did you do? I stepped into the hallway. Mira. I didn't look back. This is insane, Leela whispered, gripping my hand as we stood outside the gallery. Look, your name's on the actual glass, like, printed. I see it, I said. But I still couldn't believe it. Mira Reyes Solo Exhibitnico jogged up beside us to iced coffees in hand. There she is, the woman of the hour. Red dress and everything. Don't start, I said. But I smiled anyway. He gave me the coffee. He would have hated this dress. That's why I wore it. Leela whistled. It looks better on you than I imagined. Fierce. I smoothed the fabric down, letting the deep red settle against my skin like armor. 12 months ago I wouldn't have dared. 12 months ago you were surviving, Leela said. Now you're living. Dr. Anya walked up just then. Her smile warm. Mira. You made it. I did. She looked at the building, the crowd, the posters. This is what happens when you stop shrinking yourself. I blinked hard. Thank you for everything. You did the work. I just held the mirror. A couple walked out of the gallery, talking animatedly about the painting near the entrance. My stomach fluttered, ready to go in. Nico asked. Not yet. I looked through the window. The light inside spilled over the walls like a blessing. I want to listen for a second. He leaned beside me. To what? To the sound of my name being said, with respect. Leela squeezed my arm. You earned every syllable. Inside the gallery buzzed with quiet conversation. Soft jazz played. I stepped in. The first piece was titled Unseen. A figure curled inward, almost transparent. People stood around it, murmuring. Then came Obey. Chains made of text, his old rules wrapped around a faceless woman. Past that was awake. A woman. Midrun. Head turned toward the horizon, feet hovering off the ground. Each step I took felt like closing a door I'd left open too long. Excuse me, a tiny voice said. I turned. A little girl stood in front of birdcage. A painted woman sat inside a golden cage, the door flung wide open. Her hands were lifted mid-flight, feathers unraveling from her skin. She can fly now, the girl said, right? I knelt beside her. Yes, she can. Why didn't she fly before? Because someone told her she couldn't. But they were wrong. The girl nodded solemnly. She looks brave now. She is. Her mom called her over and the girl waved. Bye, flying lady. I looked up at the painting again. My chest tightened, but not from pain, from something else. Pride. Nico joined me. Someone just asked if birdcage is for sale. I laughed. Not a chance. Figured. You okay? I nodded. Better than okay. Leela handed me her phone. Sasha says she's sorry she couldn't make it, But she sent flowers. Tell her thank you. They're huge, she added, like obnoxiously huge. I wouldn't expect anything less from her. A soft laugh escaped me. The music shifted. People moved, and I stood in the middle of it. Hold. Dr. Anya approached. Again, holding a small notebook. Your journal. My eyes widened. You kept it? I promised to return it when you didn't need it anymore. She handed it over. Seems like that time is now. I held it close, remembering the night I'd first opened it. Pages full of shaky words, fear, grief, anger. Now, those pages had led here. Thank you, always. Later that night, I stood alone by the exit, watching the last gas leave. The lights dimmed slightly. Quiet returned. Nico raised a glass from across the room. To the woman in red, I lifted mine. Back to the girl who stayed. He tilted his head. Who? The one inside me. The one who never gave up. I stepped outside. Heels clicking softly on the pavement. The air was cool. Clean. No shadows followed. I breathed in. I belonged to myself now. Finally.